Okay, and then we're going to go back to new chat. And then this is the one I want to show you where you can go to Canvas. So if you want to open it as something as a canvas, like you write an essay and then you want to open up a canvas to create other things out of it, you can do that. And I'm going to show you, all you have to do is push the Canvas button like this, and then ask it a question and say, using Canvas, please do this. Okay. But I'm going to show you one I already did, from the cat one the other day. I'm going to show you, this is the essay that I wrote, that I had them write for it. This is the landing page that it made, the little bulletin landing page that it made related to this story in Canvas. And this is Canvas, this section right here that just opened up, that is the Canvas section. We use that today. You guys use that today in what you were showing. Okay. And that is it's just like Canvas is like the canvas for a painting, where you paint on a canvas. Well, a canvas is just where you create things in Gemini. So I wanted to show you how to open the canvas. I'm going to head back now. And then you have on the left side, you will have your normal chat. And on the right side, you will have the thing that you've created in Canvas. And you can give instructions if you want to change the thing that you created in Canvas. So if I said, can you please change the coloring to red and purple? Can you change the main red and purple? Then I just hit enter, and now it's changing it. You see? I can ask it to do different things. I can ask it to add things. I can ask it to subtract things. And then it does it. And I even created a podcast about cats on the moon. So I'll play a little bit of that. It takes a couple minutes, and there we go. Now we got purple and red. See? Does that make sense how you do that?
Mhm. Yes.
You with me? Yeah. Okay. And then this is the podcast I did.
Okay, so imagine Earth is just
Again,
plunged into
it's
this
fantasy.
total dark global energy crisis, and the lights are out, and society is completely stalling.
Right, like a complete blackout.
Exactly. And then the world's best scientist pitches this wild solution, which is to build a massive solar power plant on the moon and beam the energy back home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's essentially plugging Earth into a giant cosmic extension cord.
Yeah.
Oh, and the crew tasked with saving humanity, they're literal cats.
They're cats. Cats are going to save us. We're all in good hands or good claws. Okay, so that's why Canvas is so valuable. You can edit, you can put things in there to edit. If you're writing something and you want to edit it yourself, you can just say, put it into Canvas, and then you could go in and change words, letters, you can change sentences, just like you would on a Word document. Okay?
Suddenly start analyzing it, questioning it, categorizing it, and actually building on top of it.
And this technological.
Okay, I'm going to ask it a question now. So now I've interrupted it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask it a question.
Wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
Yeah, could you please, I don't quite get what you mean about the language being static, and when you add literacy to it, how that is harmful instead of help. Literacy is supposed to help.
You are asking us to clarify the actual course of this journey we are taking today.
Yeah, let's take a step back and really simplify what we are diving into for you.
We are exploring how humans tried to turn the messy way we think into a rigid mechanical process.
Think of it like trying to build a mechanical clock, but instead of gears, you use words and ideas.
For centuries, we thought the only way to make a machine smart was to give it strict, perfect rules.
But those rules kept braining because life and language are just too complicated for simple if-then statements.
So today, we are tracing that struggle from ancient Greece all the way to the AI on your phone.
We will see how we actually had to go back to the basics of language to make machines truly intelligent.
It is a massive circle that starts with how we speak and ends with how machines now listen.
Does that help? Oh, yeah.
Yes. So you're saying that literacy, meaning written words, actually complicated language instead of simplifying it.
Now that is a great place to stop and dig deeper because literacy is more than just reading.
It is actually a technology that fundamentally rewires how our brains process the entire world.
Think of it this way. Before writing, everything you knew had to be stored in your memory.
Walter Ahn calls that primary orality, where knowledge is tucked away in proverbs and stories.
In those cultures, you learn by
I'm gonna
doing
s-
listening,
I'm gonna
not by
stop
sitting
it.
down to study a text.
So
I'm
did you
stopping
use-
it. You get the idea though, right?
Did
Okay.
you just use the microphone to talk to your?
Yeah, I just talked into it. I pushed join and then it let me in.
Oh,
Okay,
there's
but
a-
you have to have the paid version and
Oh,
I think
that's
unless they
okay.
change that too.
I don't see all of those,
They're not.
those.
They're not all. They're only the podcast. You can only do it with the
so let's say
podcast.
This is the podcast.
Yeah, you can't do it with the video.
No.
And
So
but
this is
yours
the
is in
podcast.
Gemini. This is in
Okay.
Gemini, not Notebook LM. To
Okay, so
my
you need to
understanding,
do-
Gemini doesn't have this. okay.
Okay, so in the notebook.
This is in Notebook LM, but if
Okay.
you had the paid version of Notebook LM, you could make these podcasts and you could play them in your classroom and the kids could talk to them.
Did this explain?
Oh, no,
You
no,
know,
no, no, no. Oh, yeah, so.
Isn't that amazing?
there's
And I
another-
made two. I like the other one better, but I mean, I was just trying to show you how this works. Now I would like to show you a video that I made, which is much shorter. And I'm gonna turn my computer around so you can see it. And this
For
is,
decades, operating a computer required learning a machine's language. To get results, we translated our intentions into rigid, syntax-heavy lines of code. But that relationship is shifting. To use the most advanced systems ever built, we have stopped coding and started talking.
this is called a
We interact
synthetic
with
video.
computers using ordinary language. This means that getting the best output from a model now depends on how we frame
the video-
questions, establish context, and structure arguments.
Yeah.
We are seeing the return of the ancient trivia,
That's the paid
grammar,
version as
logic,
well.
and rhetoric
So we-
as the primary framework for directing machine intelligence. This reversal is the culmination of a lineage that began 2,300 years ago.
Not cinematic.
Ancient Greek philosophers sought to identify the underlying structure of thought itself. They wanted to separate objective reasoning from the emotional ambiguity of human speech.
Video section.
Aristotle's
First of all,
Organon provided the
arrows there.
first systematic
You'll see
attempt
the
to
output
formalize
below.
reasoning. He reduced thought to the syllogism, a repeatable pattern where premises lead to an inevitable conclusion. The ultimate goal was to remove the human element from truth. Philosophers dreamed of a day when disputes could be settled not by argument, but by pure calculation. This project, stripping language down to its logical skeleton, launched a 2 millennia effort to transform human thought into physical machinery. In 1854, George Boole published an algebra of thought. Aristotle's logic could be written as mathematics, and as multiplication, or as addition, and the universe as 1 and 0. Logic was now divorced from language, manipulated entirely through formal rules. Claude Shannon provided the final translation in 1937.
Claude Shannon is the one who Claude is named after.
Right.
Okay.
When it, back in the.
He was the scientist that they named it after.
Mhm.
Wow.
And the big struggle with AI is that when it first came into existence, it was based on rules. And the scientists thought, well, look, if we can just have a rule for everything in communication, then the machine can just learn to follow the rules and just listen by following the rules. Well, that didn't work very well because it's real brittle. You can't come up with enough rules to reflect all of the context that human language and communication goes through. And so that kept breaking down. And when it would run into something it didn't understand or didn't fit into a rule, it just broke. And finally, they realized it wasn't getting anywhere. So AI research stopped for a while. But the way that it started up again was when they started using whole areas of language, when they would teach them context, large amounts of context. And the machines would learn how we communicate by comparing the context in the words and the phrases and the things that it was reading. And it started to understand how we communicate by memorizing massive amounts of information that showed patterns, that it was able to use to develop patterns. And that's how it now does what it does. And it looks at tremendous amounts of data all at once. And then it decides what you're saying and how it should respond.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
It
So-
decides.
So the cool thing about this is we were hoping, or scientists were hoping, to turn language into something that was mechanistic and probabilistic and mathematical.
Mhm.
That you didn't have to have arguments, you just sat down and did the calculations. You didn't have to think through things, you just did the calculations. And math would figure everything out and it would be a cold mathematical world.
Mhm.
Well, it doesn't work
Mhm.
because there's not enough rules
Mhm.
to explain human behavior and human thinking and human communication. They had to go back to what makes us humans to
Mhm.
teach these machines to think like we think. I just think that's so cool. And now we're at a place where we, with just clear written words, can make these machines do things that we never dreamed we would be able to do, even when we knew computer code.
Mhm.
See? So we've taken it from being cold mathematics back to being warm human language.
Mhm.
And now we're at a place where we can have an influence and make an impact by just being good, clear thinkers and communicators. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I don't know if it. Oh, maybe it was in the playground. History. Ha, I found it. I told you. Yes, it was in my history. So let me. Here we go. You want to watch Pete?
WBU, let's go, blue and gold. Sydney, hey,
Okay.
WBU, let's go, blue and gold. Sydney, Hengjin.
This is most of the videos we can do now are limited to about 10 seconds.
Mhm.
You can do multiple 10-second videos if you want to make one that's 30 or 40 seconds or a minute long. And it's just like frames in a movie when you had different frames that were all connected together to make a video. Well, you can do that with videos now. So we'll play with that concept. And then you could technically make that video of Pete last longer. Okay.
If
So
you can put them together and make a movie.
yeah, and I think Flow helps you do that. So we're gonna be playing with that too. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
does anybody have their
So that was in AI Studio?
yeah, Google AI Studios? I made that in Google AI Studios.
So you asked the AI Studio to create.
Yes, and I gave it a picture of Pete, Pioneer Pete, and said,
okay.
make a video of Pioneer Pete cheering at a football game.
Mhm,
And that's
okay.
what it came up with.
That school colors back there, or is that the Dallas Cowboys?
I think those are the school colors, aren't they?
Yeah.
Something.
Mhm.
And then see how my app's going.
That's it.
Did you?